I know this is very close up, and I apologize. Hello everybody, welcome back to Meddling in Antiquity. My name is Teray, and today is the first episode of our new segment, Formative Fashions, where I take a movie or TV show that I may or may not have already talked about on the channel, and I do a makeup look and a outfit inspired by that particular movie. Our first episode is going to deal with what was our first One-Off Wonders episode, and that is going to be Todd Haynes' Velvet Goldmine. So before I get started in the actual makeup look, I do kind of want to give a bit of an overview of the movie, a really quick summary. I'm not going to go super in depth because, like I said, I did make a One-Off Wonders video about this when I first started the channel, so I'll go ahead and I will link that in a card somewhere. But the general summary of the film is Velvet Goldmine is kind of a mockumentary, almost, is what I guess you could call it, based on the life of David Bowie, told mostly in flashbacks. So it centers around one character, Arthur Stewart, who is a journalist living in the US in 1984. However, he is tasked by his boss to cover the disappearance of a glam rock superstar by the name of Brian Slade, who coincidentally Arthur was a groupie for in the 70s during his coming of age as a young gay man. So the story is not only told in flashbacks of his life, but flashbacks and interviews that he's having with people who knew Brian Slade. So his former manager Cecil, his former lover Kurt Wilde, and his ex-wife Mandy, who played by Toni Collette, who has actually inspired this look, or rather one of the inspirations behind this look today. So now that I've given just a really brief, really quick summary of a very complicated movie, I do kind of want to get into describing the look that I'm going to do. So I'll go ahead and I'll pop Mandy's look up off to the side. And it's inspired by that, but it's also the look that I'm going for is inspired by Devin Crimson, who is another YouTuber here on YouTube and on Instagram, who does these really incredible 60s and 70s looks. This is the look particularly of hers that I'm working with. So giving you a bit of an idea of how that's going to work. Now that you've seen the references that I'm pulling from, let's get into the makeup. So you may have already noticed that I obviously did most of my face already. I've already done my foundation, blush, lipstick, primed my eyes, done my eyebrows, and highlighted, at least under my eyes. So now I'm just going to get straight into the shadows. So the two palettes that I'm going to be using for this particular look are the Valfré Electric Gardens palette, and I'm going to be using the shade Forget Me Not in that, this really beautiful light blue right here. And then I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jackie Aina palette, and I'm going to be using the shade Edges. So what I'm going for, like you saw in Devin's look, is going to be a really like contrasted, rounded edge, kind of one like back and forth look. So really playing with the shapes of it, and that'll really come to play with the outfit because the outfit is very much in shades of blue and blues, oranges, reds, and yellows. So let me go ahead and just wet my brush real quick. I'm just using a little bit of water instead of setting spray. And I'm gonna go in, dip into Forget Me Not. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make that first impression right there. And this palette is so pigmented. I was so shook when I got it and when I started swatching it about how beautifully pigmented the shadows were. I was super thrilled, and I love Valfré. I pretty much exclusively buy my phone cases from Valfré, which if you've seen their phone cases, you know how super adorable and cute they are. The artist Ilse Valfré, her art style is incredible. I really recommend checking them out, and this palette is fantastic. As you can see, this is obviously a really gorgeously pigmented blue. Now I'm gonna dip into that Jackie Aina palette, which I love. Been following Jackie on YouTube for a couple years now, and I've kind of always been in awe of her dedication to supporting the Black community, which is really nice. Just dip into Edges, and we're gonna just do the same thing. Mark that shape out and just pull that down. And I like Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have 3 of their palettes now. This one, I have the reissue of Subculture. I do not have one of the first ones. That was an absolute kind of disaster. And I also have a Modern Renaissance palette that a friend gifted to me who is also a makeup artist. If you want to go check them out on Instagram, they are Glam by Dion on there. But as you can see, it's just this really, the color contrast that I picked is really nice. Blue and orange being just complementary colors. So just kind of go through that and we'll kind of just speed through the rest of this. How's that? So now that that is done, I'm gonna go in and just do some detailing with this Makeup Forever Aqua XL ink liner, and it's just a gold shade, and I'm just gonna go in and I'm going to go ahead and just outline all of these rings just to give a bit of a pop, because the outfit that I've come up with has a lot of yellows in it. It has, like I said, a lot of really nice like reds, oranges, yellows, and you'll definitely see it in the pants and in the accessories, so I really wanted to kind of pull that in. But also because there's a scene in Velvet Goldmine, and it's this really cool scene because, interestingly enough, a lot of Velvet Goldmine is actually uses a lot of Oscar Wilde quotes, which obviously, because it's kind of one of those things that for a lot of film people, a lot of queer people in film, it's considered a touchstone of new queer cinema, because Todd Haynes was really one of the first people to do that as a director and to make explicitly queer movies for queer people, which is why Carol was such a huge hit, because that is also one of his works. But there's a whole scene in Velvet Goldmine that is essentially just a series. It's a press conference scene, but it's like this golden circus. So all of the kind of ensemble characters in Brian's entourage are all wearing these really gorgeous shades of gold, and Brian's in like this golden ringmaster outfit. And the whole thing is just Brian responding to interview questions with just assorted Oscar Wilde quotes, which I thought was just so fun, because Oscar Wilde really is kind of the bisexual godfather of all young queers, and it shows in a lot of his work. He kind of writes like the modern, like what modern queer people talk like today. So he really did revolutionize kind of queer language, and you see it comes through in his writing. He was so satirical. You can see it especially in Importance of Being Earnest. There's that whole like super snide, it's really just a really shady catfight between 2 of the characters, Gwendolyn and oh god, I forget her name right now, but I've done the scene before with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in a very long time, who I miss very much. Shar, if you're out there and you're watching this, I miss you. But really, that press conference scene was just so cool to watch, because it also includes an 18-second makeout session between Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, who plays Brian Slade, our main character, well, not our main character, but our kind of point character, and none other than Ewan McGregor. So that sweetens the deal for any of you interested in watching that particular film. Well, now you have a reason. Ewan McGregor is there in a movie that's not a Star Wars. Incredible. But I'm gonna go ahead and line my top waterline with the same gold, and that'll wrap me up for this eye, and I will do the other one off camera just to save you the time, you know. But truly, that particular scene in Velvet Goldmine is just absolutely really does set the tone for the rest of the film, because it's very much a fantasy scene, and we see we really do see that element really played up in that particular scene. All right, now that this eye is done, sans mascara, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one off camera. One moment, please. All right, so as you can see, I went ahead and finished up the eye, and I decided to keep the alternating pattern going just to kind of keep the theme of like the back and forth. Most of the face is done. I have decided that I'm gonna add just a little bit of extra highlighter, just like right here on the nose. So I feel like it's just missing a little something. I don't want to add too much just because that wasn't really the look. Yeah, but this is most of the look. As you can see, I've also added some of my accessories to go with the outfit. I think that just about does it for the full makeup look. Now it's outfit time. One second. And here we have it. So I'm gonna give you a kind of step-by-step of the look, just because I don't want to I'll put the full body here as I explained here. So first I'm going to start off with this hat, which I got at a store in Turlock, California, which is about an hour away from where I live now. The scarf that I put around the band and also the pants are from the Hippie Shake UK, all handmade. It's really cool. The top is from Valfré, the same company that I purchased this eyeshadow palette from. And the shoes are from Boohoo UK. The earrings and the belt are from Target. This choker is one that I made myself. And this necklace is from Doll's Kill. Now, the purses that I show, the first one, this really gorgeous, like leather kind of Western looking one, is one that I found thrifting in Turlock as well. It's got this really gorgeous like hand working on it, and I absolutely adore this thing to the ends of the earth. It also has these little things right here, so you can make it like a shoulder, like a crossbody bag or anything, or you can just hold it like this. And the second one is this absolutely incredible Angela Davis Power to the People bag that I got from Miracle Eye Vintage. I also purchased the shirt that goes with it. It has the same image and the same slogan on it. And I just put all of my like pins and stuff on it. But that is the outfit and a couple different bag options. Let's get into final thoughts. I can honestly say Velvet Goldmine is probably one of my favorite movies of all time. Not just because of the look of the movie, the aesthetic, the general, just how the movie is, but also because at its core, it's a really beautiful A, coming of age story, and B, a story of two men who kind of continuously find each other at different points in their lives, and it essentially everything is leading them back to each other. I do highly recommend watching it. Like I said, if you do want to check out the longer, more in-depth description and analysis I did of the film, I will go ahead and I will link that in the description below. Yeah, that wraps us up for our very first Formative Fashions video on this channel. I hope everyone has a good day. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any feedback, comments, suggestions, etc., go ahead and leave them either in a comment below or email me, and the email will be in the description below, and that is meddlinginantiquity.inquiries@gmail.com. Yeah, that wraps us up for today, and I will see everybody on Monday for our next episode of Market Music. Bye.